Hi everybody and welcome to a brand new episode of my 12 favorite Diana Ross albums, and we are getting down to the last few, but today I wanted to talk about the album which is creatively entitled Diana Ross, with this incredible cover artwork. Many fans consider it her most beautiful album cover. I think it is absolutely magnificent. And I just wanted to tell you, I'm not in Paris today. As you can see in my apartment, I am in Montreal, in my mother's beautiful home. So it's very big, so I'm sure you can hear an echo. And I'm visiting my mom, which I haven't seen in a long time. And so I didn't want to miss out on our rendezvous, so I asked permission if I could film here today. So this album, beginning with the album cover. Now, as you know, I am a big fan of the Motown reissues and reeditions. They are brilliant, and they did a magnificent job on this album. They turned it out as a double album with a lot of extra songs, and I always cover the album as it came out, which is the original album, but I will talk about one song that did not make the cut, but that is just so magnificent, and that is actually the song that made me want to talk about this entire album, because we'll get into it. This is 1976, of course, right after Mahogany, after the shooting of Mahogany, and that is why Diana Ross hadn't had an album out since '74 with her Live at Caesar's Palace, her very first complete live album concert, not considering the Diana TV show where there's a lot of live. And this album was a big hit because it included the theme from Mahogany, Do You Know Where You're Going To, which is the very first song, and other hits. So, of course, on the reissue, at the end of the second CD, you have an interview of Diana Ross, wonderful interview where she reveals a lot about her, but she explains the album cover, and you understand how she was so implicated when she says, look at the cover, look at the pictures, very little makeup, no hair, black sweater. Now, it is just a little black sweater, but it is a black cashmere sweater that cost, reportedly at the time, $700 at Saks Fifth Avenue, New York. That's Diana Ross. Imagine today at today's prices. So, but a very simple album cover. That's what I like. Simplicity, simple and elegant. Now, of course, the theme from Mahogany was on the soundtrack album, which included only one song, which was the Do You Know Where You're Going To? And then on an original, complete Diana Ross album, it came out as that. So the album is entitled Diana Ross, but in very big letters, bold letters, you have some of the titles of the album. Now, the second song, I thought it took a little time, which is such a beautiful song, begins with a very deep cello, something that's heart-wrenching, and her beautiful voice between singing and talking, where she says, am I really hard to please? Perhaps I have such special needs. Is that written for Diana Ross or what? And this was the official single to the album. Now, what came out afterwards was Love Hangover, which did not come out as a single immediately, but it was played on radio stations and in discotheques like mad. And therefore, it kind of ate up I thought it took a little time, but today I fell in love. Now, Love Hangover is absolutely magnificent. Now, of course, it is a little bit of a Love to Love You Babe version. Diana Ross did not want to sing it. She was not comfortable with that kind of, those kinds of words, and especially with the way they wanted her to begin the song, with which are now absolutely legendary, and which you can never compare to Donna Summer, except maybe the fact that they're sexy songs. Completely different, because although I Love to Love You Babe is almost a song where Donna Summer surrenders, the Love Hangover, Diana Ross is in charge. She does not want to get over. Don't call the mama, don't call the preacher. She doesn't want it. She wants to keep. So she sings it in a way that is absolutely magical. Now, the producers explained that they lowered the lights in the studio. They put very red lights. Diana Ross came with her white wine, her grapes, and all her children at the time. And Diana Ross started to get into the mood once she was completely isolated in the booth, and she was able to give her inner sultriness, sexiness, which she always had. But Diana Ross is a very shy person. Remember the Supremes, she was the shy one. Then there's a song which I adore, which is Kiss Me Now. It's the fourth and last song on side A, and it is arranged by Don Costa. Don Costa, beautiful arranger. He made a lot of classical repertoire. He worked with Barbra Streisand. He's best known for that. And he made a hit single with his daughter, Nika Costa, when she was a little girl, song that I adored when I was a little boy. And he is a brilliant arranger, brilliant in terms of classical music. And so this song has an incredible, although it's a little bit, in French you say désuet, which means passé, a little bit out of style, but in a very intentioned way. It's just absolutely lovely. The hearts, the singers, the background singers have a certain way of doing the shubu, and it's just so cute and adorable. And Diana Ross has so much fun with it. And I remember one day I was at a concert in Paris for Miss Ross, front row, and she asked me up, and somebody pushed me and took my place, but that's life. And so the magic stays. I still don't know what Diana Ross smells like. It's the only thing I don't know about her scent. And I've worked in perfume for many years. I'm sure I was told it was a scent that was made for her. And when she was young, she wore a perfume called Jungle Gardenia. But I'm sure that if it was a commercial scent, I would know it. Kiss Me Now. The reason why I tell you this story is because there was a lady sitting right behind me, and because she saw that I was so sad, she sang Kiss Me Now to me. And I was very surprised that she knew it for a French person. And she told me it was her favorite song of Diana Ross. And I thought that was really cute because it's such a not Diana Ross song. It's not dance, it's not a love ballad, it's kind of fun and cute. And you know how I always associate her songs. And so this Kiss Me Now, to me, is the latter version would be so close. It's that type of song, so close from the album Silk Electric. You're Good, My Child, very, very sexy song again. It starts with an organ, and it is, again, the religious themes that I always hear. And it's absolutely, absolutely beautiful, but very, very sexy. Let me feel your love tonight. I don't want to make it bad, want to make it last. It's really very, very entrepreneurial. And it is a very, very beautiful song. And I love that deep organ sound that they do with the keyboards. Just very, very beautiful. One Love in My Lifetime is a masterpiece in the way that it starts with just a very slow drum, and then the orchestra just climbs and climbs and climbs, and you hear all of these sounds. I adore when orchestras sound like wind and like water and like the ocean, when it's melodious. Like Debussy is one of my favorite classical composers. And in One Love in My Lifetime, which is kind of a duet, because when Diana Ross sings One Love, you have a very deep masculine voice that answers back One Love in an echo, and it's just absolutely beautiful. And then, could it be he's interested, or am I just wanting it to be so? Ain't Nothing But a Maybe. Lovely, lovely, lovely song of a woman who is in doubt. Now, you would think Diana Ross never doubts, but it's a woman asking herself questions. It's really the song you sing to yourself after the first date when you really like the guy or the girl who just left. I mean, I asked myself, ain't nothing but a baby, many a times. We almost finished the album with the song After You, what am I going to do? How am I going to find the love I left behind? It's again a question, a woman who questions what is she going to become after him. And the whole album has this feel to it, of the fact that it is a woman taking charge. For me, this is the divorce album. It's the album of a young woman who is back, single, but single again. It's not the first loves like you hear on the first albums or on Surrender, where you really have all of these questions about loving and does he love me? Am I going to love him? This is a woman who is in charge in her 30s, and Diana Ross is at the top of her beauty and the top of her voice. She finishes with a song that was very close to her heart, which is Smile, written by Charles Chaplin. Very simple words: smile when your heart is aching, smile even though it's breaking, when there are times, I forget the words. It's absolutely beautiful. It is orchestrated by Gilaski, who worked with Diana Ross on all of her classical projects. Lady sings the blues, Diana Ross sings jazz and blues. Every time she did something a bit jazzy, she came back to Gil Askey. They're very, very close. I find him just a little bit safe for Diana Ross because she could really soar through a concrete orchestra. But nevertheless, it's a beautiful song to end this album, but in a very, very, very quiet way. Now, the album is over and it is perfect the way it is. 9 magnificent songs. Diana Ross was on top of the world. Mahogany was a huge, huge hit, and unexpected because Diana Ross had many doubts since Berry Gordy took over the entire project. Nevertheless, it was a big hit. The single was phenomenal all over the world. In France, she came and sang at the César, which is the equivalent to the Oscars, looking absolutely beautiful in a red jumpsuit, backless red sequin Bob Mackie jumpsuit. She looked magnificent, and this album is incredible. Now, the reason why I went back and decided I must speak of this album, it's because there are hits like Love Hangover, the theme from Mahogany, which we've heard over and over again. We tend to forget the mastering of the voice on this album. Diana Ross' voice is just a diamond. It is crystal clear. It is perfect in every sense of the word, without any exaggeration. Now, this is a time in 76 through up till the late 70s where everybody could sing. What I mean by that, you had a lot of voices, and it wasn't, if you didn't really know how to sing, you weren't. Yeah, I mean, there were really great voices. And therefore, people took singers who were performers for granted. And we kind of forgot that Diana Ross is such an incredible musician and an incredible vocalist. I mean, it's perfection. I used to read things where I heard Diana Ross does 1 take, 2 takes, and she doesn't care. Well, perhaps it's true. I have no idea. I doubt it. But what I do know is that those takes are perfection. And on the album, which I always urge you to listen to, the reissues, one of the songs, which is an outtake, is This Christmas. Now, you can understand that the song wasn't chosen for the album because, This Christmas, should be on a Christmas album, and certainly not on such a sexy album. But it is, because it's such a classic, and I've heard it over and over sung by everybody, it's just so magnificent. I mean, it's just so explosive. And it just, Diana Ross, I mean, you smell gingerbread when you hear it. It's just perfection. Now, I'm getting really, really sad because now, you know, I'm getting close to the last Diana Ross albums. And so I'll talk about another artist, but I'm realizing right now how much, to me, Diana Ross is an incredible, incredible star. So maybe we'll do a couple of bonus videos because Diana Ross deserves all that. I thank you so much. I hope this video is not too wonky because I don't have the lighting. And if you could see what this my phone is standing on, you would laugh. It's on 4 crystal chandeliers of my mother. It's just slapped on and it can hold. So well, nothing fell and I broke nothing. So I hope to see you very, very soon. And let me just give you a tiny little tour of my mom's apartment so you can see. This is her view of Montreal. And because my mother is a kind of Diana Ross, she's very, very glamorous. And she does have a beautiful, beautiful taste in everything. So I'll see you really, really soon. And I love you. And of course, next album, you can see it on the, well, I don't know what corner, but on this corner. See you next Sunday. Bye-bye.